Sonic team has been cooking this year. I mean, we are getting the third Sonic movie with Shadow in it, who is, by the way, voiced by Keanu Reeves, John Wick himself, Sonic X Shadow Generations. I mean, have you seen the marketing? Every time I went on Twitter, I saw a new video suddenly popping up about Shadow's story, and I'm like, oh god, stop it already. It's like, Sonic, please stop. Studio Ghibli animated one of the best prologues I have ever seen. It's an animated short series about how it will basically begin in Shadow's story of Sonic X Shadow Generations with, my god, look at Shadow. My guy has PTSD. Give him a hug already, Sega, please. Truly, the fearless year of Shadow. Like, we are eating very good right now. I mean, we are even getting DC Comics mixed with Sonic, like a collab. I know people will say, it's not gonna be good, it's gonna be trash and all that. I get it, but I mean, look at the market. Look at the marketing again. Look at this. Look at this. It looks beautiful. I have faith. But let's talk about the title of my video. On Twitter, I was always saying, he will return and all that, and a lot of people told me, nah man, that's just a COPIUM, forget it man, they won't bring back 06, are you crazy? But I mean, Black Doom is back, we are fighting Bio-Lizard, Metal fucking Overlord. I mean, there was only one person missing, and I knew he will return because, I mean, come on. I don't even need to say anything, the evidence is right there. Which is why I said Mephiles the Dark will return. Some people were still skeptical, they were like, no, that's just a COPIUM, stop it man. But guess who's back, baby? Guess who's back? Mephiles the Dark. That's right, Mephiles the Dark was shown in the recent story video of Shadow Generations. I was so happy when I saw him. Can we also talk about how they introduced him back in 2024 with the move that canonically killed Sonic? Shin Nakamura, your boy is back. I mean, just roll the clip how I reacted, please. I'm not tripping, I saw Dusty Desert. Purple. Mephiles! Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, even Morio Kishimoto, the director of Sonic Frontiers himself said, and I quote, just like Infinite, Mephiles is also a very attractive character in the mainstream title. Therefore, I think there is a possibility that it will appear in future mainstream titles. I think you can feel this from the fact that past titles are starting to connect with this game. I'm so glad he's back. As a boss, at least. Or so we think, because I have a theory that he's just not only a boss, but also part of the main plot about Generations. Shadow's part, at least. Also, Sega, I hope you're doing an excellent job of making an awesome remix for his boss battle theme, please. And bring back also the fact that he became Shadow Shade in the first phase of Sonic 06. That was really cool. Also, the move that he used on Sonic, right? I hope it's actually a one-hit KO thing. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Let's talk about it in this video. I won't talk about the entire story of Sonic 06, that will take too much time. Because we basically have to focus on Mephiles, even though he is part of the main plot of the 06, but whatever. I recommend you watch it by yourselves on YouTube. I know people will say, but Sonic 06 was such a bad game, it was one of the worst games of Sonic. I agree, it could have been better. The gameplay sucked. Sonic's story was just terrible. I hated it a lot because it was just basically save Elise once again. That's it. Silver's story was good. Let's just say that. I loved Shadow's story the most because, well, Mephiles was there. And the last story is also cool because we got to see Mephiles kill Sonic. It's the fun things, right? But we can all agree that Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric was the worst game, even worse than Sonic 06 and Sonic Forces apparently. I don't know, because I hated this game. I hate it till this day. It's one of the worst games ever. As a Sonic fan myself, I am saying that. I had a lot of fun with 06 as a kid, especially with the glitches and all that. I loved the music. Again, I had fallen in love for Mephiles, his character, his He's just like the best Sonic villain I've ever seen. Shadow villain basically, but whatever. But again, I loved it as a kid. I should know. I bought the game twice or more, I don't know. Did I sniff too much Sharpie as a kid or what? I don't know. Anyways, who is Mephiles? Mephiles was accidentally created during the Solaris project under the supervision of the Duke of Soliana. In one of the project's experiments, Solaris was split into two separate entities, Iblis, his raw power, and Mephiles, his cunning mind. Basically, he was the big brain of Solaris. As Mephiles was trying to escape the facility, he was sealed in the Sept of Darkness by Shadow the Hedgehog, who had traveled through time by 10 years before the events of the game. As Mephiles was sealed inside the scepter, he vowed that he would not forget Shadow and that one day he would kill him. And with that, congratulations Shadow, you just became enemy number 1 of the fucking time god. Great job, idiot. That's all we know. I'm not kidding. Like, during my research about Mephiles again, I just found out that he was basically a demi-time god because he was one part of Solaris, that he can travel through time, probably manipulate it because, well, he is one part of a time god once again. And he can also take others with him because he basically sent Shadow and Rouge into the future while sending Silver and Blaze back into the past. So yeah, he can travel through time and send others back in time or into the future. I also read that he doesn't have a form originally because he's just basically pure darkness and all that, but I want to know how even Solaris is like part darkness, part fire, because he's a time god, so doesn't make sense. Also, how the fuck is Mephiles a demon also? Because you see this form, right? You see this form. Shin Nakamura, explain please. I'm confused. Basically what I'm trying to say is I want more lore about Mephiles, like maybe from a special demon when Solaris was created, like some other demons that are like him, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not like I made an entire demon race based off of Mephiles' abilities and his forms and all that. Would be ridiculous, right, Sega? Would I be a Sonic fan if I didn't? Anyway, let's just forget about this. Unless you're interested, of course, Sega. Back to the topic. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to have more lore about Mephiles because we are getting so much lore about Shadow, Black Doom, Black Arms, Jerry Robotnik, Maria. Like, we are finally getting the answers that we have been researching for. But why do I want more lore about Mephiles? Well, better question is, why is Mephiles also the perfect antagonist for Shadow? Well, let me explain. Like we know, Shadow is this brooding hedgehog that never always smiles because he smiled the most with Maria, and I know because he has PTSD, he has trauma. I understand Shadow. What I'm trying to say is we basically got confirmation that Black Doom and Shadow are like Sonic and Eggman. Like, this means that Black Doom will always return to fight against Shadow, which I'm excited about. But I would also love more with Mephiles because he is a very evil character. And also, Izuka himself said we need darker enemies for Shadow basically. Which is perfect because Mephiles is a heartless and cunning sadist with no sense of compassion or empathy. He will do anything to accomplish the goal. And I mean everything. Whether it is by manipulating Silver to try and kill Sonic to save his future, manipulating Shadow, fucking Omega. No matter what, he will do what he needs to do to reach his goal of basically trying to destroy time and space. Because, well, that's what he wants. Because he's basically like, again, he's a time god that seeks destruction only. However, while he manipulates others to basically get what he wants, he also has to do things in the dark to not gather suspicion and all that, because he is waiting for the right moment to strike. Like he waited for Sonic to be distracted and then basically just killed him. Like canonically, he died really. Mephiles is completely calm, emotionless, he's easy to talk to, and completely patient. All traits of his manipulative side. He never loses his patience, even while injured or angry, because he's calm and he's thinking rationally. Because when he's angry, he's rather disappointed, like when he offered Shadow to join him, but Shadow rejected him. He was disappointed and very hostile later on towards Shadow, because he's like, what the fuck, I gave you a chance to get revenge on these humans and you are continuing to help them even though they will betray you. Basically, he mocks Shadow by this point. He doesn't care if he has to kill someone like Sonic, for example. He just does what he needs to do to cause destruction. He doesn't care about anyone except for Shadow, because he hates him so much that Shadow sealed him away into the scepter. Like, he's obsessed with Shadow. Jesus. Also, when we're talking about his abilities already, well, he sucked Shadow's shade again and gained all of Shadow's abilities like Chaos Control, his powers, his resilience and all that, blah blah blah. But you know what? I think there's more. I know this motherfucker went back in time, did his research on Shadow's past, his trauma, and when he found his trauma, he went and watched it on repeat, just to see the moment where Shadow suffered the most. Jesus Christ, I know this happened because he hates him so much, he wants to kill him. But how did he return? Well, thanks to Time Eater, of course. And again, here's my theory. Time Eater is actually Mephiles himself. And I don't think I'm the only one, because even Flynn once theorized it himself. In an old Bumble King forum, Flynn himself theorized that Time Eater might actually be Mephiles, or the essence of Mephiles, due to the similarities they share, like time traveling or being purple. Of course, Sega never talked about this. So I believe that here in Shadow Generations, Mephiles, aka Time Eater, in my theory at least, I know it's COPIUM, leave me alone. Again, Time Eater and Black Doom are working together, which wouldn't be the first time that actually Ian Flynn wanted to team up Mephiles and Black Doom. Remember these two? Yep. Eclipse and Black Death? Yep. They're actual replacements. When Ian Flynn wrote the story of Shadowfall in the good old Archie Sonic comics, he originally intended to have Mephiles return. In the story, instead of Eclipse working together with Black Death to get Shadow to their side or destroy him, it would have been Mephiles instead. He would bring back Black Doom and the two would have teamed up against Shadow. But like what happened to Black Death, Doom would have died, Shadow once again killing his dad and posing by his grave, while Mephiles would have had the same fate Eclipse had and continued to be around causing trouble. Of course, Sega vetoed there and so Eclipse and Black Death were made. Which, on one hand, I was like... Don't worry, it's just a splatter scope I got from Amazon. But on the other hand, I get it, a time god would be a little too much for Shadow even. But maybe change some things to make it actually fit. I mean, we see so much time themes in this game right now. Because Time Eater, traveling through time and space, etc. And if my theory is correct, that Mephiles is actually Time Eater, he won actually. Because in Sonic Generations, Time Eater destroyed all of time and space, and Sonic had to basically bring back by restoring it by going through all the levels again and saving his friends. I'm excited to see what Sonic X Shadow Generation is bringing to the table, especially Shadow's story. Another theory, we see in the last episode of Shadow Dark Beginnings a bonus scene, actually. We see Black Doom in like a tank getting healed and all that, and I see a lot of people like saying, isn't that the place where this larve thingy was, where Shadow stared at it and was thinking he was a monster and all that? Basically, people are saying Black Doom came from this larve, which, yes, I agree with that. But Games Cage made an interesting take, which I will change a little bit with my theory actually. Hear me out. Game ends with Eggman working with Black Doom to create a new life form. Let's change it a little bit, shall we? Yes, I agree. Black Doom will surely create a new life form that is basically like on par with Shadow. But he's not doing with Eggman. I think he's doing with Time Eater, aka Mephiles in my theory. My COPIUM, I mean. I also actually think that it will be Eclipse he will be making. And also Black Death, just for safety, you know. and the 4 of them working together. It's funny to imagine, really. But Black Doom will need to have information about how to create the ultimate life form, like he created Shadow. So I think Mephiles is going basically back in time, snatching Jared's journal real quick, and then they read it together how to create the ultimate life. And also, if we're basically saying Black Doom will be the Eggman to Shadow, we can also say maybe that Mephiles will be the Metal Sonic to Shadow, because, I mean, they look the same. Yeah. But instead of being obedient to Eggman, like Metal Sonic is, Mephiles won't be obedient to Black Doom. He will do things he wants to gain his goal. Honey, you're too much on COPIUM. I know, guys, leave me alone. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It is my very first YouTube video, so I hope you can forgive me because I did all the editing and all that. I'm not a pro at this yet. I hope I will be one day, or maybe I can even hire someone, because I gotta give props to you editors. It's a lot of work, really. What do you think? Is my theory correct? Could it be correct? Or is it just a massive amount of COPIUM? I won't judge you if you say it's COPIUM. Probably. I just basically made this video to be like, haha, I got it, I was right. Or you can just give me later on if I'm wrong, like award for the most on COPIUM or something. I don't know. Most importantly, thank you so much to my best friend who did an awesome job with doing the drawings of my fan characters. I love it. I love her art style. It's beautiful. Anyways, unfortunately, I will not stream the game because I saw the dates and I have night shift, unfortunately, so I won't be playing on when it's early access. Like, I actually bought the deluxe edition, so yeah. But at least I will get the Terrier skin, so that's cool. I will stream it though on the 25th, so until then, bye!